I used to believe that the loudest people were the strongest, the ones who took up space, the ones who were always noticed, the ones everyone listened to. But I was wrong. The quiet ones don't disappear, they build. This is not a story about revenge. This is a story about becoming. About what happens when the person everyone ignored becomes the one who owns everything. Welcome to New Drama Stories. If you enjoy deep, emotional stories about hidden strength, quiet power, and life-changing justice, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because stories like this don't end the way you expect. I grew up in a house where love had a ranking system, and I was always last. My older brother Ryan was the golden boy, captain of the football team, loud, confident, charming. The kind of guy teachers praised and neighbors adored. Then there was me, quiet, skinny, always reading. Always building things on my laptop. I didn't talk much, not because I had nothing to say, but because nobody listened. My parents never hid their favoritism, not even subtly. Ryan got applause, I got instructions. Ryan got celebrations, I got expectations. Ryan failed. They're just mistakes. I failed. Why are you like this? At family dinners, everything revolved around him, his games, his friends, his plans. I sat quietly, eating my food, invisible. Once, when I was 12, I showed my father something I built, a simple app. It helped organize school assignments. I had worked on it for weeks. He glanced at it, then looked up at Ryan. "You should try something like this, son. You're smart." I wasn't his son, not really. My mother once told me, smiling, "You're lucky Ryan takes all the pressure." You don't have to be special. She meant it as comfort. It felt like a sentence. Ryan loved reminding me of my place, not directly. He was too smart for that. He did it with jokes. "Careful, don't break him." "Let him talk, this is his moment." "Don't worry, he's harmless." Everyone laughed. I learned to smile too. I became the quiet one, the harmless one, the forgettable one. By high school, the roles were permanent. Ryan was destined for greatness. I was nice. Nice meant nothing. They mocked my interests, programming, building small games, online forums. "You'll never make money doing that," my uncle said. "Get a real skill," my father added. Ryan smirked. I learned something important early. If people think you're nothing, they stop watching you. That became my advantage. By the time I turned 16, my role in the family was clear. I wasn't the son, I was the contrast. I existed so Ryan could look better. If Ryan got a B, they blamed the teacher. If I got an A, they asked why it wasn't an A+. If Ryan skipped class, it was boys being boys. If I stayed home coding, I was wasting my youth. They didn't hate me. That would have been easier. They dismissed me. Every holiday, every birthday, every gathering, I watched my family orbit around Ryan. His stories were loud. Mine were ignored. His failures were funny. Mine were embarrassing. One Christmas, I asked for a better laptop, not for games, for programming. My father laughed. "You're not a real developer, that's a phase." Ryan got a gaming console worth 3 times as much, so I started earning my own money, quietly. I built small tools, sold code, did freelance work online, nothing big, just enough to learn. I hid it because I knew. If they knew I was capable, they'd take it. Ryan noticed, not the money, the confidence. He didn't like that. One night during dinner, he said, "So what are you going to do with your life, man? Be poor forever?" Everyone laughed. My mother added, "At least Ryan has ambition." That night, I didn't cry, I wrote code. At 17, I built my first real product, a scheduling tool for small businesses. I released it quietly, no marketing, no noise, just quality. It made $400 the first month, then $1,200, then $4,000. I told no one because I had learned in a toxic family, success makes you a target. Ryan went to college, partied, dropped classes, changed majors 3 times. My parents paid, I stayed home. Coded, built, learned. One night, my father said, "You should get a real job." "You're embarrassing." I nodded and went back to my room because my second product had just hit $12,000 a month. They still called me useless. They still mocked me. They still forgot my birthday. And I let them because every insult made me sharper. Every dismissal made me quieter. Every laugh made me richer. My first real win came when I was 19, not a trophy, not applause, a contract. A small logistics company found my software. They emailed me, then called me, then asked for a custom version. I worked on it for 3 weeks straight, barely slept, barely ate. But when I finished, they wired me $48,000 in one payment. I stared at my screen for a long time, not because of the number, because of what it meant. I was real now. I wanted to tell someone, just one person, so I told my mother. She squinted, then laughed. This is probably a scam. That night, Ryan came home drunk. What's he bragging about now? He asked. My mother said, some fake internet job. Ryan laughed. Bro, you live in your room, you don't make money. So I showed them. The contract, the transfer, the proof. They didn't look proud. They looked annoyed. Ryan said, so what? You made some nerd money, that doesn't mean anything. 2 days later, he posted a picture of me asleep at my laptop. Caption, when you think you're a tech genius but still live in mom's house face with tears of joy it spread. Relatives commented. Friends shared it. Teachers saw it. At dinner, they laughed. My father said, learn to take a joke. My mother said, don't be so sensitive. Ryan said, you're lucky I give you attention. That was the moment, not when they mocked me, but when they enjoyed it, I stopped trying. I applied to a university in another city, got accepted, packed my things. My mother said, don't come crying when you fail. Ryan said, you won't last 6 months. My father said, you're making a mistake. I smiled and left. They thought I was running away. I wasn't. I was preparing. When I left, no one tried to stop me. That part hurt more than all the insults. Not a single hug, not a single be safe. Just warnings, threats, predictions of failure. I moved into a tiny apartment near campus. Bare walls, second-hand desk, 1 chair, 1 mattress on the floor, and my laptop. That was my world. I didn't go to parties, didn't make many friends, didn't waste time. I coded every night, every weekend, every break. My second product failed completely. No users, no sales, 3 months of work gone. I didn't cry, I rewrote it. My third product did better. My fourth did worse. My fifth took off. By 22, I was making more than my father. By 23, more than my whole family combined. By 24, I hired my first employee. I didn't tell anyone, not my parents, not my brother, not my relatives. I didn't even change how I dressed. Still cheap clothes. Still old phone, still public transport. Because I learned something important. Money changes how people treat you, and I wanted to see the truth. I named my company under a neutral name. No connection to me, no connection to my family, just code, just contracts, just growth. One of my tools went viral, then another, then another. I built something no one expected, a platform that helped small businesses automate their finances. Simple, clean, powerful. Investors came. I said no. I wanted control. By 26, I was a multimillionaire. By 27, I crossed 8 figures, and my family, they still thought I was struggling. My mother once texted, "Do you need money?" I replied. "I'm okay," she said. "I knew you'd need help." Ryan posted pictures of his new car, paid for by my parents. He still mocked me in group chats. In comments, in front of relatives. Still coding in your mom's basement? Still playing with computers? Still pretending to be important? I didn't block him. I saved everything because I wasn't angry anymore. I was patient. One day my assistant asked me, "Why don't you tell your family what you've built?" I said, "Because I want to see what they do when they need me." That day came sooner than expected. My father's business collapsed. Debt, lawsuits, bad investments. Ryan lost his job, again. My mother started calling, a lot, and for the first time in my life, they needed me. The first call came from my mother, not a hello, not my name. She said, "Do you have any money?" I was sitting in my office. Glass walls, city view, a company I built from nothing. And she still thought I was nothing. I asked, "What happened?" She sighed. "Your father made some bad choices." That was her way of saying everything was on fire. They were drowning, bills, loans, legal threats, and suddenly they remembered me. They invited me to dinner, not because they missed me. Because they needed me. I almost didn't go, not out of anger, out of curiosity. I walked into the house I grew up in, same walls, same furniture, same energy, different desperation. Ryan was there, older, heavier, less confident, but still smug. "Well, look who finally showed up," he said. I smiled. My mother hugged me politely, like a stranger. They sat me down, explained the situation, used words like temporary and misunderstanding. Then my father said, "We need help." I asked, "How much?" They laughed because they thought I was joking. Ryan said, "Don't get excited. You can't help with this." That's when I did something interesting. I pulled out my phone, transferred $10,000 just like that. My mother gasped. Ryan's smile disappeared. My father leaned forward. I said, "That's not help, that's a test." Then I stood up and said, "If you want real help, you'll have to earn it." And I left. After that dinner, the messages started, not apologies, requests. My mother sent long paragraphs about family, about sacrifice, about how much they'd done for me. None of it was true, but they said it with confidence. My father sent voice notes. He sounded tired, defeated. "You owe us," he said. "We raised you." Ryan didn't ask, he demanded. "You think you're special now? You've always been jealous of me." You wouldn't survive without us. They tried guilt, pressure, shame, fear. They didn't realize something. They had trained me for this. I knew every move, so I played along. I told them I might be able to help. Maybe if they cooperated. They asked with what? I said honesty. They laughed. I told them I had connections, important people. They didn't believe me, which made it better. Ryan said, "You. Big tech, you barely speak." I smiled. I scheduled a meeting, a real one with my own company, under my alias. I told them it was important. They dressed like it was a funeral. Dark colors, forced confidence. We met in the lobby of my building. They didn't know it was mine. Ryan stared around. "Must be expensive," he said. I told them to wait. Then I went upstairs, into my office, glass walls, city view, my name on the door, my real name. When I came back down, I was wearing a blazer. Ryan frowned. "Why are you dressed like that?" I said, "It's a big meeting." We entered the conference room. My assistant stood. "Good morning, sir." My mother blinked. My father froze. Ryan laughed. "Nice prank." I sat down. They stayed standing. I gestured. "Sit." They did, slowly. The presentation began. My company, my products, my revenue, my valuation. The numbers climbed. My mother covered her mouth. My father whispered, "This isn't real." Ryan laughed too loudly. Then my assistant said, "And our founder and CEO," she gestured to me. Silence. Ryan's smile collapsed. My father's face drained. My mother stared. "No," Ryan said. "Stop joking." I leaned forward. "This is my company." My mother whispered, "You're lying." I tapped my phone. My name appeared on the website, on interviews, on business articles. I didn't brag. I let the truth exist. "How long?" my mother asked. "Longer than you think." Then I said, "This is the meeting you wanted." My father leaned forward. "You can help us." I nodded. "I could." Hope returned too fast. Then I added, "But I won't." The room changed. My mother reached for me. I pulled back. My father stood, sat, stood again. Ryan laughed nervously. "You're serious?" I nodded. "Why?" My mother whispered. I looked at them. "Because you didn't raise me." Silence. "You ignored me. You mocked me. You humiliated me. You treated me like I was a mistake." Ryan scoffed. I raised my hand. He stopped. "I kept records," I said. I opened a folder. Messages, posts, comments, voice notes. Ryan's voice. "He's harmless. He's useless. He'll never be anything." My father's voice. "You're nothing without this family." My mother's texts. "Why can't you be like your brother? You were always difficult." I didn't comment. I let them hear themselves. My mother started crying. Ryan's face turned red. "Why did you save that?" he shouted. "Because I knew I'd need proof." "Proof of what?" my father whispered. "Neglect, manipulation, financial coercion." Ryan laughed. "You think this is a court case?" I smiled. "It already is." I slid documents across the table. Lawsuits. Audits, public disclosures. My father whispered, "You forged this." "No, I documented you." Ryan slammed the table. "You wouldn't dare." "I already did." My lawyer appeared on screen, live. My mother screamed. Ryan backed up. My father whispered, "Please." The lawyer began listing facts. Not emotions, evidence, dates, contracts. Ryan dropped into a chair. My mother sobbed. My father looked older than I'd ever seen him. I felt nothing, not joy, not rage, just closure. Court isn't loud. That surprised me. No shouting, no dramatic speeches, no villains confessing, just quiet rooms. Cold benches and words that change lives. Ryan sat behind his lawyer. He didn't look confident anymore. He looked lost. My parents sat together, not touching, not speaking, just existing in the same space. The judge read the summary, not emotionally, professionally, years of coercion. Financial manipulation, emotional neglect, contractual abuse. Each word landed like a stone. Ryan's lawyer tried to spin it, said I was bitter, said I was vengeful, said I was unstable. The judge didn't care. Evidence doesn't care about emotions. My lawyer stood, calm, precise, and dismantled every excuse. By the end, Ryan owed more than he could ever pay. My parents lost the house. My father's company was gone, and for the first time in their lives, they had nothing. Outside the courtroom, my mother ran to me, not dramatically, quietly. "We were wrong," she said. I didn't answer. My father said, "We didn't know." I looked at him and said, "You chose not to." Ryan didn't speak. He just stared. That hurt him more than anything. The lawsuits didn't explode. They leaked, quietly, strategically. Ryan lost his job. Friends stopped answering. My father's business partners pulled away. My mother stopped going out. Relatives whispered. They started calling me dangerous. I liked that word. Ryan came to my apartment late one night, desperate. He knocked hard. I opened the door slowly. "You ruined me," he said. I replied, "No." "You were always ruined." He asked, "You think you're better than me?" I said, I always was. He swung, missed, fell. I didn't touch him. I called security. As they took him away, he screamed, this isn't over. I smiled. It was. Months passed, then years. I didn't celebrate. I built. I built programs for quiet kids. I built scholarships. I built therapy centers, not loud, not branded, just real. People asked about my family. I didn't lie. I didn't explain. Closure doesn't need explanations. One night I got a handwritten letter from my mother, just one sentence. I hope you are happy. I folded it, put it away, and felt nothing, not pain, not anger, just peace. I stood on my balcony that night, looked at the city, all those lights, all those lives, all those stories, and I finally understood something. I didn't win. I escaped. They called me weak. Because they didn't understand me. They thought silence meant submission. They thought patience meant failure. They thought kindness meant stupidity. But they were wrong. I wasn't weak. I was becoming, and by the time they noticed, it was too late. If you feel small, if you feel ignored, if you feel underestimated, you don't need revenge. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You just need time. Because quiet people don't disappear. They build. If you've made it this far, I want you to hear this. Being underestimated is not a curse. It's an advantage. When people think you're nothing, they stop watching. And that's when you build, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. This story wasn't about revenge. It was about becoming. It was about what happens when a quiet person finally realizes they don't need permission to matter. Thank you for listening to this story on New Drama Stories. If this story touched you, inspired you, or made you feel seen, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More powerful stories are coming, and they will change the way you see the world.